ladies and gentlemen, Mike Mongo. My friends, my family, my people, you out there watching me live right now. Holy Moses, technology is amazing. Great googly moogly. You, this episode is for you. I do what I do for you. It brings me joy and satisfaction. And here's what I do. My name is Mike Mongo and I'm an astronaut teacher. You know that. You know this. And what I'm doing here and what I do is that I encourage students to pursue careers in space and astronautics. And the reason I do that is because I grew up and when I got to where it was my future, I realized that no one had given me permission to imagine myself living, working, and playing in space. And that's what I do now. So because of the pandemic, because of coronavirus, which has changed all the lives of every student that I work with in the world, pretty much. Now I broadcast via YouTube through this magic technology to you right now. And that means I'm giving you permission from here to where you are to live, work, and play in space. Today's episode 2, permission to live, work, and play in space. Today's a really amazing day. I'm going to do this again this particular day. This particular day I'm going to get to do again, and I'll tell you why. Because every episode we get new people watching this, new versions of you who, for some reason or another, like me, know that our job, our mission, our goal, our objective, our purpose as human beings is to live, work, and play in space. It's to go to space. It's to take humankind out into the universe and become what my friend Loretta Whitesides calls space kind. Can you imagine being a space kind? Human beings as a space kind? I mean, I'm enrolled in this idea. So I'm broadcasting live to you from my spaceship. You're watching in your spaceship because wherever we're quartered, wherever we're sheltered right now during this pandemic, that is our spaceship. And this is your spaceship. You're watching me from your spaceship right now. It's funny because I just don't even understand how grown-ups don't see this for what it really is. This is a spaceship. We live in spaceships right now. So today we are going to focus on one of my favorite things in the entire world, that's writing. Before we do that, I want to talk to you. So last week I mentioned, I want to talk to you about spaceships for a second. So this is welcome from Spaceship Studio. This is my spaceship. The name of my spaceship is Spaceship Studio. I love the word studio, S-T-U-D-I-O. I love that word, studio. Welcome to Spaceship Studio. Now, it's not Spaceship Studios. It's not a studio named Spaceship, though in a way it is. This is actually my spaceship. And I hope that you picked up on what I was delivering last week and named your quarters, your home, your shelter, your apartment, your mobile home, your trailer, your car, your van, your cave. Wherever you're watching this, I hope wherever you're safe, and I hope you're safe. Because our job as human beings is to make sure that one another is safe. Because we're in this together. Like the pandemic, we're in this together. In our spaceships, in our quarters, we rely on other people. Like, for instance, I got these snacks over here. Boom, boom, boom. I love my snacks. Where are they? Come on, snacks. My snack shelf over there, chocolate and even some ramen soup and stuff that I like when I want to feel good. And the people at the grocery stores are my mission control. They're my ground control. They're my support team. They're your support team. Your parents are your support team. People who take care of you, your guardians. Could be your grandparents, could be your aunt, could be your uncle. That's our support team. The people who take care of you are my support team for you. The people who take care of me are your support team for me. That's how this whole thing works. So last week, I was talking about the very first spaceship that went to the moon, which was Apollo 11. And those astronauts, it's worth remembering this stuff. Those astronauts are some of my favorite astronauts ever. I've met two of them. I've met Michael Collins and I've met Buzz Aldrin. I never got to meet Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong, gosh, I love Neil Armstrong. Y'all don't even know how much I love Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong is famous because Neil Armstrong is one of the first people to walk on the moon. First human beings on the moon. One of the first people to go to space. The very first person, of course, to go to space is Yuri Gagarin. I've got a Yuri's Night sticker around here. Yuri's Night. Y'all know about Yuri's Night. April 12th. Celebrate human beings going to space, which is what you're going to be doing. So the very first time that we went to the heavenly body we call the moon, which orbits the planet Earth, we went in a spaceship called the Apollo Command Capsule. The Apollo Command Capsule, Apollo 11 is the mission. I think it was spaceship number 107. Was tiny. And here's the point of this. I did something really cool. My friend Paul Menta had me do this. And I told you I was going to do it. And here it is. I'm going to flip the camera and watch this. Pop. Baka baka. All right. You see this tape right here? You see this tape in Spaceship Studio? That tape is the size of the spaceship that went to the moon. There's my made bed. I hope you all made your bed this morning. It's important to make your beds. Making your bed is like a big deal. I mentioned that before. You all know how I feel about that. I learned how to do that in the Army. So this spaceship, this tape, I've taped off how big the Apollo 11 spaceship was that went to the moon. It was about 12 by 12. And I taped that off for you this morning. It's about 10 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. So let's go over here. Pop up. Pop up. All right. So check it out. This is me inside the Apollo 11. One bed fits in there. A grown-up sized bed. Okay? This is the size of the spaceship. Look, this is how big the spaceship was that went to the moon. I'm walking around it. This is it. This is it. That's it. 3 days it took to get there. And the first people that went to the moon were Frank Borman, Bill Anders, and Jim Lovell. That was Apollo 8. They went around the moon. And then the other three went to the moon, and Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon. And they went there in a spaceship that was this big, no bigger than this, not as big as this room, 10 feet tall, so about as high as I can reach, about that tall. And it was filled, it had stuff in it. It had chairs, and it had the place where they used the bathroom, and there was no closets, there was nothing. It was all just right there. This is it. So when people complain about, people can't complain who want to go to space about social isolation or quarantine, because it is like we have so much space. Look how big my spaceship is compared to the Apollo. My spaceship is all of this space. I know I get carried away sometimes. So my spaceship is all of this space. This is my spaceship. Spaceship Studio is all this space. Spaceship Studio, I get to go, hold on. Bless us all. I get to go outside to space. I don't have to put a spacesuit on. I got my stuff. Paka. I got my stuff right here. There's my masks. There's my goggles. I got my stuff I use to get to space here in my analog astronaut space mission, just like you do. When you go out, I hope you're using those things. I've got my lavatory over here, my bathroom. Boom. I got all of this space in here. I have my wardrobe. All this space in here. Look, there's even a window in there. That's how big my spaceship is. How big is your spaceship? Think about how big your spaceship is, whatever you've named your spaceship. And I want you to keep that in mind while we're on this analog astronaut training mission, like my friend Cyan Proctor says, Dr. Proctor, the analog astronaut trained with NASA. She has us train at our homes for spaceship missions. You with me? You are training for a spaceship mission right now. The people who went to the moon lived in a very tiny spaceship. To get to the moon was 3 days. Then they orbited the moon, and then it was 3 days back. So, the first one, Apollo 8, here, I'll show you this. Apollo 8, Frank Borman, Bill Anders, Jim Lovell. Jim Lovell, these are the first 3 human beings that went to the moon. These people went to the moon, and they saw the Earth from the moon. And Jim Lovell took a picture that you can Google the name of. Here, let me write it down for you. It is important. Today's mission is writing, remember? So we're going to do some writing. Writing. I can't believe people need to sell writing a little more. Google this word right here. You're going to love this picture. You got that? Earthrise. Google that word. Earthrise. Earthrise. And wait till you see that picture that Jim Lovell took from the moon. First human beings to go around the moon. Right there. Apollo 8. We always remember Apollo 11. Which, by the way, they called Columbia. Which, by the way, is cool because they got the name from, that was the name of the spaceship that Jules Verne sent to the moon in his book From Earth to the Moon in the 1860s. And then 100 years later, we go to the moon. I mean, that's amazing. That's good writing. Jules Verne is one of my favorites. So, I want all that on the table while we get started today. So here's what we got on the table. We got you naming your spaceship. We're going to be working on writing today. We got Apollo 11. We got how we are all living in spaceships. Me, you over there. How we are all living in spaceships right now. This is our analog astronaut training mission. People call it quarantine. Good for them. We are training to live, work, and play in space. You, especially. Me, I'm 55, I'm a grown-up. My job is not to get me to space. My job is to get you to space. You got it? That's what we're working on. And that's what we're doing right here. This conversation is about getting you to space. Because if you're like 10, if you're like 9, 8, 7, 6, if you're like 11, 12, 14, 13, I got to say, 8 is great. 9 is fine. 10 is win. 11 is heaven. 12 is swell. And 13 is HE double toothpick. That's a grown-up joke. So, yeah. Being you is awesome. And you get to be me one day. And by the time you get to be me, I want you to have so many astronautical adventures behind your belt. I want you to have gone to space. I want you to call me up one day when I'm really old, and say, is this Mr. Mike Mongo? And I'll say, yes. And they're like, Mr. Mike, you taught to me during our analog astronaut training mission we called quarantine in 2020 and gave me permission to imagine myself living, working, and playing in space. And I became a human a person who lives in space. And I just wanted to call and say thank you. And that will be you someday. And you don't have to be an astronaut. I don't care if you're an astronaut. If you want to be an astronaut, be an astronaut. What I care about is that you do what you love doing in space. Let's say that you want to be an equestrian, a person who rides horses. Can you imagine riding horses in space? Because I can. I can. I'll go over that. I'll go over that someday, not today. A space equestrian. But even easier than that, like that, I can imagine how to do that. We would have a cylinder that spins around and creates and produces a gravity effect that a horse could ride inside, and you could ride a horse in space. I've thought about this because you asked me before. One of your people, you a student, asked me, how can I be a space equestrian? Because as I'm explaining right now, anything that you want to do here on Earth, you can grow up and do in space. Space plumber is going to be a big time important job. Believe it. Space chef. What kind of creative things? Imagine eating salad in space. Salad floating around and just using like chopsticks to pull it out. I mean, some amazing dishes are going to be created, and maybe it's going to be you who creates them. Here's one that is super important that people rarely talk about, and I'm super happy to tell you about, because maybe you want to be a professional athlete, and there's a lot of competition to be a professional athlete. And as I point out to you all the time, you study your business like homework. So if you are in quarantine and you want to be a professional athlete, you need to study your sport. You need to study who created it, and who made it, and how many people play it around the world. You need to study it like it's homework. Space athlete. Imagine that. Space athlete. Imagine playing sports in space. Imagine playing soccer in space. Or, you know what? Some people watch older kids, Harry Potter. What's that sport in Harry Potter called? Quidditch. Imagine Quidditch in space. We can do it. Have a little jet-powered broom and then magnetically driven golden snitches. Whoa, this is real. Space Minecraft in the asteroid belt. I mean, like, don't get me started. We're on a path right now, so let's stick to our path. Our path is writing. So I need you to think about this stuff. When you are these jobs in space, you get to call me and say, I saw Mike Mongo's Astronaut Adventures in 2020, and you inspired me, and I'm calling to say thank you. And I will look forward to that day. And goodness willing, may I be alive to get that call from you. Maybe we'll have telephones in our minds then, and you'll just think my name, and it'll come to your head, and I'll say, oh, who is that? I'll answer, could be. Who knows? Maybe you'll invent that. All right. So today we're going to work on writing. We've got an amount of time that we have, and this is the time how we're going to use it today. We're going to use it to work on writing. So writing we take for granted. Everybody thinks writing is about words, and writing is about this, and writing is about that. Maybe. Writing is the thing that has enabled me to do what I'm doing right now with you. Writing has got me everywhere I've wanted to be in life. So don't stress if that's not your thing. But if you have the capacity to write, and I say that every one of us has that capacity, we just have to have the right person show us how to do it. So if you're in middle grade, if you're a middle grade student, 6th, 7th, and 8th, maybe 5th grade, you're starting to work on essays. Essays are one of my favorite things to write in the entire world. An essay is basically it's like this. It goes intro, 3 supporting arguments, and then a conclusion. And I can write an essay right now. Tomorrow's jobs are in space. 60 years ago, we started going to space. The space industry has taken off and is very important today. In the future, there's going to be so many space jobs that there's going to be a real demand for space jobs, people to fill those jobs tomorrow. In conclusion, tomorrow's jobs are in space. Reiterating what I said at the beginning. And I just used 3 supporting arguments. And I just wrote an essay right in front of you, just like that. It is just like that. Woo! And I'm just getting started. Watch this. Okay, check this out. All right, so I'm going to flip around. Boca, boca. All right, cool. Check it out. This is my robot that I call Gimbal. Gimbal works with me to I think Gimbal's working pretty good right now. So can I show you something really cool about working in space? It is really, to me, about writing. Whoa, Gimbal almost fell. Look, even robots need help every now and again. Sorry, Gimbal. All right, check it out. Boom. That's not bad. I'll see if I can bring it up a little bit. Nice, and let's see if I can adjust this lamp a little. See if I can get you out of the picture for a second. Let's see what we can do with this lamp. Maybe. Technology. That's good. Pow, pow, pow. I can see me over there. I've got the screen right here, so. Now check it out. There's something I want to tell you about writing that is super important, that a lot of times people don't get to, don't explain to us. And for me, it has made writing so much fun. I love writing so much because of this particular thing. Here, hold on. All right. So, and this is going to be some of your homework, okay? So I want you to be doing this. I'm going to use a different color. Red's cool, but I'm going to use black. Black is one of my favorite colors. Even though people say it's not a color, I love black. Okay, cool. All right, check it out. Whoop. Boca, boca. When you're writing, what makes writing fun, especially when we get to do writing in class and stuff like that, is to love the letters that we're writing. Believe it or not, this is actually a grown-up secret. Not even many grown-ups know this. When we are writing, one of the things that makes writing fun is this: loving to write the letters that we're writing. Okay? And how we do that is we practice our letter writing, which seems so obvious and seems even tedious unless you're doing it for the right reasons, and that's because you love it, like I do. Watch this. So I'm just going to start with A. Who doesn't like A? So for me, there's a couple different ways to draw A. I draw A like this all the time. These are some of my A's. So I will do a page of A's. I can do a ton of A's. A ton of them. Let's see how we're doing over here. Make sure. Cool. Watch this. So I've got my A's down. Like these are my A's. Buka buka, buka buka. See? Check it out. Now, there's more A's. There's these A's right here. I love these A's. This A is like a house. This A is like a structure. Who doesn't like this A? Everybody loves this A. There's probably another one. There's this one right here. So people do this. Oh yeah, this one right here. Oh, this one right here, sorry. I will do a whole page of letters. As a grown-up, I just love drawing letters. It's so funny because, like, I don't think of them as letters. I think of them like, there's my circle and there's my line. I think of them as art. Each letter is a piece of art. Like, look, my A, this little A has gotten really fun right here. You got it? You get it? It's cool. So, look, those are my A's. Look! You can do this. And you should. This is going to be your homework. I mean, like I said, study your business like homework. Drawing A's is fun. Every letter I have a relationship with. I can do them all. No problem. Watch. Name a letter. Name a letter. T? Got it. All right, T. T. Who doesn't like T? Capital T. What an unusual letter. I wonder how it balances. That top part must be really, really well balanced. Or this trunk, the trunk of the T must be very strong and stable. Here's my T. Who doesn't like drawing T's? T. Good suggestion. Thank you. All right, and this one right here, I love this one. Watch. This one's like a little cross. People call this a cross. See that one right there? It's kind of got like a little downturn. I like to have my T's have an upturn, more of a smile than a frown. That's a frown T, and that's a smile T. Frown T, smile T. And I think about that. Another T is like this. These are, you've probably seen these People don't draw them a lot, but I like to draw. This is a very fun T. It's like a backwards J with a line through it. Super fun. That's T. T, 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 T. They look like, what do they look like? Power lines. See? Cool, right? All right, so that's the T. Practicing letters is what makes writing fun. It is just the most important thing. I want you to know this. It is, okay, so I think that perhaps my all-time favorite letter, okay, well, I got two. Woo! Who amongst us is not a fan of S? S, to me, is the funnest letter. And the whole snake sounds. What has this got to do with astronautics? Are you kidding me? You know how much writing we do in space? Do you know how much writing astronauts do? A lot. Did you know that a lot, if you just look at the recent Soyuz launches, S-O-Y-U-Z, Z. People call this Z, people call it Z. Soyuz, S-O-Y-U-Z. I put a little line to mine, just like that. Soyuz. So if you look at the Soyuz launches, the astronauts that are on that, and those are astronauts, they have a pad. The captain has a pad on their pants, like Velcroed on, with a pen to write down any anomalies or anything unusual that's taking place. So I want you to know that we save all that stuff. So it's nice when it looks good. Imagine being an astronaut going up on the Soyuz mission. And your letters look terrific. And people are like, oh, in the future, I would love to have that. And they sell it off, they auction it off for some charity or something. How cool is that? So that can happen when we practice our letters. So like I said, my S's, and that's the Soyuz mission, the Russian spaceship we send people to space with right now. Oh, big announcement this week. Did you guys hear about SpaceX? SpaceX is launching the first human beings from U.S. soil back to space since 2011. Great googly moogly. 2001? 2001! Let me look it up. Let me look that up. I'm going to Google last space shuttle mission. Last space shuttle mission. 2011. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. I got to see 3 space shuttle launches. Yeah, so since this is in 10 years, this is the first human beings to go to space from U.S. soil since 2011. SpaceX, Elon Musk, is sending people to space, and it's happening in May. Everybody in the world's going to get to watch. Pow, pow, pow. So mark that on your calendar. I'll put it in the show notes, okay? Wow, holy Moses, that's a big one. Whoa, here, let me find a date. Wow, that's a big one. It's called Demo 2, and it's called the Crew Dragon. The name of the spaceship is the Crew Dragon. Demo 2. SpaceX launch. Google SpaceX launch. Go to May 27th. May 27th. Let's write that down with my favorite letters. SpaceX Crew Dragon. A G. I love writing G's. No. That's not good enough. Not for this auspicious occasion. We need a proper N. Launch. L-A-U-N-C-H. G-O-N, dragon. L-A-U-N-C-H. May. 27. 27 is one of my favorite numbers because I'm a January 27 guy, so that's terrific. I would be there, except it's quarantine. It's analog astronaut training mission quarantine. So I won't be able to be there, but everybody in the world is going to get to watch that, including you, live. Whoa, that's cool. All right, we're going to leave that right there. I said I had another favorite letter. So let's get some of those favorite letters. Here it is. Don't be lazy. Erase properly. Here we go. I love drawing O's. Wow. O's are circles. O's are fun. This one doesn't have its end connected. I don't like that. I like when it's connected. Okay. That's what a perfectionist is. Okay, cool. Practicing circles is so much fun. And then your O's get to be premium. So when you practice O's, you get to practice circles too. It's the same thing. It's 2 for the price of 1. That's awesome. All right. So letters. I told you we're doing writing today. Writing. And then letters. And so we got that knocked out of the way. I want you to write a page of letters of each letter. A whole page. Just get a pad. Start. You don't have to do it all at once. What a bummer. That would probably be not fun if you sat down and wrote a page of A's and then a page of B's. My hand would get tired. So I do a page of A's and then I go and do something else. And maybe I write a page of B's tomorrow. Or maybe I write A, B, and C today and then I do the other 3 tomorrow. Like my hand doesn't stay tired for long. So I can do A's and B's and C's and D's and E's and F's in one day, no problem. All fun letters, by the way. And cursive is a whole nother thing. Some people are really good at that. I am also. I love cursive. My mom taught me cursive. But don't get hung up on cursive. I think that manuscript is far more interesting. Okay, so we got that. We got all of this. We've been practicing our letters. Your homework assignment is going to be practicing letters. You can send me some of the letters. You can send me pages of your letters. I'll put them up. I'll show everybody. You. Yeah, you. All right, SpaceX Crew Dragon launch May 27th. Okay, we got that, right? You can. I'm going to erase this because I want to show you something that's super important. This is so crazy. Look, this is really. Now, why is it that I have letters on here twice for writing? Why is that? That is a fair question. Here's why. Bunk, bunk. This is cool. Bunka, bunka. All right, so here's why. Here's what's going on. As a student, you have a power that no grown-up, that I am almost sure that no grown-up has told you that you have right now. And there's a bunch of them actually, and I'm gonna be the person to let you know. Some of them, I don't know all of them, but I know some of them, and this is one of them. You, listen to me, hear me out, bear with me. This is masterfully important. You can write a letter, an actual letter on a piece of paper, to any person in the world, president, prime minister, general, doctor, astronaut, and mail it to them in the mail, and they will write you back. You can write a letter to NASA, and NASA will write you back. You can write a letter to SpaceX, and SpaceX will write back. You can write a letter to Elon Musk. You can write a letter to Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, a wealthiest human being on the planet. Elon Musk has got money too. You can write a letter to Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, as a student, and they will write you back. It may not happen overnight. And if it takes too long, just write another one. Like if it's a couple months, write another one. But because you are a student, and we as grown-ups look to encourage you, we will write you back. We'll write you a letter back. Lots of people have written NASA in the past and asked if they could be astronauts, and those people grew up to be astronauts. If you want to be a professional athlete and there's some professional athlete who you love so much, write them. You know how great it is? You know what? You would be surprised how exciting it is to get a letter from somebody who is a fan of yours. Because then it happens to me. It is the best. And then I get to write letters back. I get to. And support you in your dream or your vision for yourself. I want that for you. Like I said, it's a special power. You can write anybody. Anybody. Almost certainly. There is a higher than 90% chance that they will write you back. If you write a letter and you don't get a letter back, write another one. You know, people are busy. Maybe they were moving, like we're all in different spaces and addresses now. You get to enroll a grown-up. It can be a teacher, it can be a principal, it can be a pastor or a rabbi, it can be anybody. It can be somebody who believes in you. And a grown-up will get that letter to the person. Grown-up's gonna figure out how to get the address to mail it to. And then when it gets to that address, somebody's going to open it up and they're going to see what the letter is. And they're going to get your letter to whoever it is you wrote it to. We as grown-ups work to do this. It is a little known truth. That's why I have letters twice on here. Practice all your letters. Get to be really good at letters so your letter writing is good so that you enjoy writing. Simple truth. And this other one with 2 exclamation points. Letters. Write letters to the people that you want to hear from. You're going to have those letters, your future self. You write those letters and you get a letter from the person that you care about, the person that you want to be. Your future self is going to love you. Whoa. You know, there used to be a person named Walt Disney, and kids wrote to Walt Disney, and Walt Disney wrote back. And now we as grown-ups have those letters from Walt Disney. You could write George Lucas. You could write JJ, what's his name? JJ Johnson? Oh. You could write any director, any actor. You could can't write cartoon characters really, but you could write the voices. You could write the people who play the voices of cartoon characters. Do you like doing voices? Some students are fantastic at that. Are you one of them? Is there, a video game designer. A YouTube personality. You can write a YouTube celebrity, a YouTuber. You can write any YouTuber a letter and they'll write you back. Almost guaranteed. I understand that there are some YouTubers and people and personalities and athletes and spaceship company owners who are too busy or jerks and they're just not. Some of us are. Happens. Don't sweat it. Just don't be one. And they ignore it. Awesome. Find another person then, or write another letter because maybe that person is just busy and didn't get your letter. You get to be persistent. If there's something that you really want, be persistent and go after it with tenacity, tenacious. Put your teeth in it. And get it. Get that thing you want. Write this letter. Oh, please do this. My Google. Yeah, we're in quarantine. It's astronaut mission training. You get to do this. Write the letter. Yeah, that's why I got 2 exclamation points because the second I start talking about it, I get excited. Write the letter. Write a letter to the person that you... Is it a ballerina? Are you really into dance? Holy moly, Jess Spicoli. Is it a chef? I know a lot of students that are really excited by food. Are you one of those students? Is it an inventor? Is it a scientist? All my friends who are scientists love writing letters to students. It is a fact. So like I said, this is a secret. When has a grown-up told you this? Specifically, like the way that I'm telling you right now. Okay? So you get to do this. You get to do this. Write a letter. Oh, I'm going to pester you about this. I mean, why would I have to? This is your future. This is for you. It's a gift for you. Some grown-up is gonna be in. You get to enroll a grown-up. Hey, I need some help mailing this letter, please. Thank you. Hey is probably not the right way to start that sentence. I need some help mailing this letter, please. Thank you. Yeah, that's better. All right. Yeah. So letters. Okay. All right. Now, next line up. Permission slips. That's what this whole episode is about. It's permission slips, right? We're doing great with time today. Look at this. Check this out. You know what this is? This is your permission slip? Oh, that's the question and answer time. Let's see if I figure out how to turn this watch off. This is the same watch they have in the new Wonder Woman 1984 movie. I'm getting it. It's getting there. If I was in a meeting, people would be going crazy. Good thing I'm only broadcasting. Hey, got it. Broadcasting live on YouTube, right? Only. Only. All right, so this is your astronaut permission slip. This says, I hereby have permission to grow up, to live, work, and play in space. You can have one of these. You can have an astronaut permission slip. You get to have one. All you have to do, you don't even have to mail me. Email me. Go to Mike Mongo. Oh, look at this, MikeMongo.com. If there's a grown-up in the house that loves what I do and appreciates support, you can click on Buy Me a Coffee, and that really helps out a lot, because this is a coffee-fueled grown-up machine right here. Me, this robot. This robot loves coffee. So if you support what I'm doing, grown-ups, feel free to buy me a coffee at MikeMongo.com. Now, for students who don't have credit and debit cards or PayPal accounts, this is an astronaut permission slip. Back to you. Hey, this is an astronaut permission slip, okay? And you can have this just by emailing me. I will mail you an astronaut permission slip. And check this out. This is one of my favorite things. Look at this. I got something to show you. Dig this. Dig it. Dig it. That's more grown-up talk. This is an embosser. I get stopped at TSA in the airport every single time with this. They don't know what it is. They have to see it, which I love. I don't mind. I love talking to people, including TSA agents. We're all human beings here. We're all in this together. So it goes like this. Boom, like that. And then, so when you email me and I send you this, to make it official, this is your future astronaut permission slip. I hereby have permission to grow up, to live, work, and play in space. You will sign this. I will send it signed, Mike Mongo, astronaut teacher. And then each one that I sign, I'm going to do this. Nice big squeeze. And then there is the human air symbol, the heart wing star. You got it? You get that? All you have to do is email. Wow, you don't even have to mail. The future is amazing. We make it so simple, so easy to use. The future is easy to use. Google. It is so good to be a grown-up who can bend down. So check it out. Last thing up today. Yeah, it's Q&A. So we're skipping Q&A today. We're going to art. We're doing an art thing. The questions will, so next week I'm going to be doing some questions. So you feel free to email me. Go to MikeMongo.com, fill out the contact slip. Mike at MikeMongo.com. There's a contact. You can press contact on at MikeMongo.com. You can press contact at MikeMongo.com. You know how to use a Chromebook. Go to MikeMongo.com and then press contact and then send your questions. Send a request for astronaut permission slip. You got this. You got this. You don't even have to enroll any grown-ups in that. You got this. All right, so we're going to do some art. Check it out. Back to the whiteboard. Back to the whiteboard. I love this. I got to show you a couple cool things. All right, so let's see how we look right here. Pretty good. Pretty good. That looks good. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the red. This is definitely a red mission. All right, watch this. So check it out. First, art. Art is important. I'm going to show you two things. I don't know. We'll see. First thing I want to show you is a human air. This is a human air. H-U-M-A-N. Two N's in human air. Human air. Pop, pop, pop. Got it? Human air. H-U-M-M-A-N-N-A-R-E. There you go. All right, cool. I'm looking over here on this. Yeah, looks good. All right, cool. So that's human air. And then this is the symbol of the human air. So get ready for this. Y'all ready for this? It is a heart. to symbolize love. It is wings to symbolize flight. And it is a star to symbolize who you are, who we are, and where we are going. We are all made of stars. And we're going home to the stars. I mean, Earth is home. Stars are home. It's our universe. This is where we're from. Everything in the universe is made of stars, including you. And this is the symbol. This is human. This is the symbol of the human heirs. This is the symbol of those of us, you guys really, because here, pop. You who are going to get to live, work, and play in space. I wonder if I can put that circle right there like a halo. Check it out. Cool, right? That is a human heir symbol. Heart, wing, star. So draw me some of those. You can post it on Instagram. Mike Mongo, Astronaut Teacher. Okay? And that is pretty much everything I wanted to share with you today. Let's see. Switch this one more time. So let's recap. You are living in a spaceship. You are living in a spaceship. This is my spaceship studio. Welcome to Spaceship Studio. Welcome to Spaceship Studio. Not Spaceship Studios. This is my spaceship, and its name is Studio. You get to name your spaceship. The original spaceships are small spaces. We'll go over how big the SpaceX Crew Dragon is that's going to the moon on May 27th next week. And we'll go over the size of the Blue Origin spaceship. Oh, and the Starliner. That's going to go back up pretty soon too, Boeing Starliner. So we'll go over the size of those spaceships. This is how big the Apollo 11 and Apollo 8, the Apollo command capsule was. Big enough to fit a grown-up size bed in. That's pretty much it. So having wherever we live, wow. Imagine going to space in a mobile home. That's giant. A trailer, giant compared a minivan is how big, pretty much how big just like maybe 2 minivans. That's how big the original Apollo mission was, okay? So keep that in mind. We are all on analog astronaut mission training missions. Analog astronaut mission training. That's what quarantine is. Quarantine is the name of our analog astronaut mission training. The whole planet. Your analog astronaut. Analog means like, parallel. It's like a test. An analog astronaut is someone who's living like an astronaut. So you and I are living like astronauts right now. Human heirs. People living, working, and playing in space. You, human heir, this is your human heir analog astronaut mission training. And we are calling this particular mission quarantine. Okay? That's first. If you live in a mobile home even, that's giant compared to a spaceship. So, and get everybody else at your house aligned to calling your house, your home, your quarters, your shelter, the spaceship. Let's go back to the spaceship and give it a name. And feel free to make a sign. I'll make a sign. I'm going to make a studio sign. Maybe it's the NSS, the National Space Society Spaceship Studio. That's what we could, because I love the National Space Society. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing, so you get to do that. Keep that in mind. The other thing you get to do is do pages of your do pages of your letters, okay? All right? Do that. You're going to like this. It's a great exercise. Once you become terrific at letters, you develop a relationship with them. Like I feel really good about all the 26 letters in the alphabet. They're all my friends. Me and Y, the letter Y, we have like, I'm still working with Y. It's a little tricky sometimes. But other than that, I love all the letters. And so you get to do pages of letters, do some pages of letters, send me some pictures of those. I'm a big fan of that stuff. Write a letter to somebody who inspires you. Write a letter to somebody who inspires you. And enroll a grown-up with a please and a thank you into mailing that letter. Not emailing, mailing. Okay? Snail mail. Regular United States Postal Service mail. Yes. Go to stamps.com if you don't have stamps. Easy to get stamps. Easy to do this whole thing. You got this. You got this. Practice your art. There's a human air. There's the symbol. Pa pa pa. Boom boom. Boonka boonka. Yeah. Heart, wing, star. Heart is the love. Flight is wings represent flight, and star is who we are and where we're going. The stars. Got it? And I think that is pretty much it. I always want to say hi to some friends at this point. I wouldn't be here today without Jeff Bezos. He was one of the people that stepped up for me way a long time ago. Just a great friend. And his kids a lot of times watch the show. And his kids, you. If you're his kids, it's you I'm talking about. And my son, Raphael, his sister, Iana, I claim both of them. They make me crazy. I love them. And let's see, who else? Cyan Proctor, she's coming on Analog Astronauts. She's going to be the first astronaut on our show. So that's pretty cool. Get ready for that. David Lockett, he's a buddy of mine, and he just got hired by a big company whose name I can't say right now, but it's coming up. Therese Jones, Juan Jose Diaz Infante, these are people I love. Paul Menta, wouldn't be here without him. Nance Frank. Wow, all these allies. Look at this. Tori Bruno, my friend, rocket program engineer at United Launch Alliance, Bernard Cutler, who messaged me this morning. Yeah, these are important people. My friends at Loving People, LP165, and my friends at MITT, Mastery and Transformational Training. That's an effectiveness training I've done as a grown-up. Super fun. And all kinds of stuff like that. Like, I hope you're happy. I hope you're well fed. If you need anything, message me. Do me a favor. Send me your contact information. So, I will mail you a astronaut permission slip, signed with the embossed human air symbol. Okay, you can do that. Oh yeah, if you're going to send me your address, get your parents' permission or your guardian or somebody. Okay, got it. All right. And if you're a grown-up students, if you got a grown-up who thinks this is cool, if they're watching over your shoulder right now, give them permission to buy me a cup of coffee. You're allowed to do that, okay? I give you that permission. And that's it. Wrapping up today. Keep up the good work. If you email me this week, I'll send you a copy of the Astronaut Instruction Manual, a PDF. You can read it on your tablet. Okay? That's it. Over and out. In the words of my people, pa pow. I wonder if we can do the outro.